We are previewing the Philadelphia Eagles 2025 season, your X Factors, your roster news, everything you need to know about your Philadelphia Eagles. Sistad is all excited, ready for the repeat, ready for the dynasty.
I still am overjoyed and I'm elated with the fact that they won the Super Bowl. The way that they won it was awesome. I love this team, just in love with the players, the way that they go about their business. I'm just really excited to have them back. I do not take this era, this window for granted.
Sports and culture all in one. Catch the fire, feel the fun. Andrew Sistad, glad unite. Philly NY in the spotlight.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 64. We are previewing the Philadelphia Eagles 2025 season, your X Factors, your roster news, everything you need to know, everything you want to know about your Philadelphia Eagles. We got you covered. Sistad is all dressed up. He's all excited, ready for the repeat, ready for the dynasty.
Ready to talk about the 6th-round guard from Boston College. Let's go. Talk about X Factors.
All right, dude, real quickly though, talk about your mindset here, your level of excitement going in a week away from opening night. As Super Bowl champion, you get to host opening night. You get to host against your rival, the Cowboys. Maybe they have Micah Parsons. Maybe they don't. Either way, favorites to the NL East and NFC East. And how are you feeling about the Eagles?
I feel great. I feel I still am overjoyed and I'm elated with the fact that they won the Super Bowl. The way that they won it was awesome. So I'm super excited. I mean, I love football. You know, the Eagles are my favorite team of all of the 4 sports teams in Philadelphia here. And I'm just super happy. I love this team. I'm like just in love with the players, the way that they go about their business. And I'm just really excited to have them back. And, I do not take this era, this window for granted. So I very much am looking forward to it. We're going to enjoy the ride, but of course, if they go 3-0 next Thursday, you might get some angry texts. No, you won't.
Season's over.
You've got a long. Listen, once you win a championship, you have a pretty long leash with me. But I am just overall super excited to have them back. I'm very just happy for the guys, and I'm excited to see how their title defense goes because it didn't go great the last time. So we'll see.
Well, because of this podcast, we get to monitor how big of a leash you're going to actually give them. So to recap last season, the 2024 season, 14-3 record, the number 2 seed in the NFC East champions, and of course, Super Bowl champions. The question for the episode as we open it is, can they repeat? Can they start a dynasty? We're going to break it all down.
Let's do it. Excited to talk birds.
Let's talk about what they did this offseason because there was a decent amount of movement, right? You'd say a decent amount of movement?
Yeah, every time a team wins a Super Bowl, they're a hot commodity. So people are, other teams are trying to steal their players, coaches. So there's a lot of retooling that goes on in the offseason, and hopefully they made some moves to be able to, counterbalance some of the pieces that they lost, because they lost some pretty significant pieces. A lot of guys are back, and that's great, but they lost some really big contributors to that team. So we'll see how they can fill the holes.
All right, so some of the losses you're talking about, and we'll start with the offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, out, and then they promoted Kevin Patullo. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
And what was his role last year again?
He was like the head offensive assistant or something like that. From what you read about him, he was basically like the assistant head coach. So he was Nick Sirianni's right-hand man. He's been there since Sirianni came to Philadelphia. He's been basically working side by side with Sirianni for the past 4 years.
Okay, so we'll get into that. What you think about that in a second. Regarding the players, some key departures: Mekhi Becton out, Josh Sweat out, Darius Slay, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Milton Williams, and Isaiah Rodgers. A key re-signing was Zach Bond, 3-year deal, right? I think it was a 3-year deal.
Yep.
Some additions through trades, free agency, and draft. Nothing that stands out as being very substantial though, or very exciting, right?
Not really. I mean, some people are excited they got. You mean besides the guard from Boston College?
Yes, we're being serious.
So, people seem to love the linebacker from Alabama they got. His name's Jihaad Campbell. They just traded for John Mechie from the Texans. People are like semi-excited about that. I mean, whatever. It doesn't really faze me one way or the other. One loss, I don't really know how significant this is, but Brandon Graham is
I didn't mention
no
Brandon
longer
Graham.
here.
Yes, that's right.
Although he was hurt for pretty much the whole playoff run, he did get a few snaps in the Super Bowl. But before he got hurt, he was playing excellent football, like some of the best football of his life. He was playing before he got hurt. So
didn't he have a good game? Didn't he come back in the playoffs and have a good game?
No, he came back in the Super Bowl, and I think he got like 4 snaps. And I think he drew a holding call.
Maybe I'm thinking before he got hurt.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay. What do you think about Kellen Moore? Is there going to be an impact at all to the offense?
So I think so. I've always kind of admired Kellen Moore from afar. And yeah, I think it's big. I'm a little scarred from the last 2 times before this past season the Eagles made the Super Bowl. They have promoted, so they lost their offensive coordinator, and then they promoted their new offensive coordinator from within. Both of those instances were very bad. It was awful. So in 2018, they lost who the hell? So they lost Frank Reich because he became the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. And they promoted, I don't even remember who they promoted. Might have been Press Taylor. But anyway, and then last time they lost Shane Steichen, and they promoted this dude, Brian Johnson, who was also went to the Colts. So that's kind of weird. But the guy they promoted from within was awful. His name was Brian Johnson. And I was actually watching. Sometimes I'll, like, if this is going to be super, like, nerdy of me, but, like, sometimes if I just want, like, background noise on, I'll just put Eagles highlights on YouTube. Just background noise, whatever. So I had some games on from the 2023 season, so the year after they lost the Super Bowl, and they had Brian Johnson, and just the play calling was so bad. It was so vanilla and so predictable and so stupid, and like bubble screen to 37-year-old Julio Jones on 3rd and 8. It's like, what are you doing? And I don't know.
Concerned.
Like, so I'm pretty concerned about that. Like Kellen Moore, although I didn't think he, he's not like this flashy, sexy kind of, he's not like an Andy Reid or a Ben Johnson or someone, or a Sean McVay, someone who, Shanahan, someone who comes up with these crazy concepts and wow, how did this guy get so open? Like, he was just very methodical about his approach, about the way that he called an offense, called the game. I think he did a very good job of realizing, okay, this is not working. Like, let's try to implement some of this. Let's obviously we have the best running back in the world. Like, let's utilize the hell out of him. And then everything else is going to work off of that. So again, it was more so just the approach and the methodical nature of the way that he called an offense. It wasn't the flashy plays. So, which I thought was great. Like, I love that. Like, I don't need all like the cool, wacky plays. I think that's
when you have an offensive line that's just better than other defensive lines, you have a running back that's just better, and you have skill position players that are just better than their matchups. There's less incentive to do crazy schemes.
Yep. Don't get cute. Just go beat the hell out of them because you're that much better. So
yeah.
I'm concerned about it. I mean, everything everything that you read about Patullo is that, he's great and he's been super involved since day one. I don't know. I mean, I guess the one thing that I can take some solace in is like he's been here, so he knows that in 2022 they went to Brian Johnson and what he did was awful, and then they went to Kellen Moore and that was successful. So hopefully, and he still had like for the most part the same personnel. So hopefully he can kind of learn from the failures of the organization and the successes and be able to put his own spin on it and be successful. But yeah, I'm not like overly concerned about it, but it's definitely
Makes sense.
definitely in my mind for sure. Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, it's I actually didn't realize you were going to express that. So that's interesting. It makes sense though. The main reason why they didn't have to go out and make any big splashes to replace the players that they lost is because the players that they lost aren't, correct me if you disagree, but aren't part of the main core of this team.
Yeah. I mean, yes, you could say that. That doesn't mean that they weren't like super big impact players.
They weren't. They were useful players.
Yeah, offensively they didn't really lose anybody except for Becton. And then defensively, like, yeah, you lost some secondary guys, but they were, I wouldn't consider them like core guys. I think Slay was awesome last year, but he's getting older. He's obviously not like a long-term piece. Gardner-Johnson was great. I love CJ. I love the energy and the attitude that he brought. But certainly not like a core piece.
Yeah. So I think that's for Eagles fans the most exciting thing going into a season where you're trying to repeat is you have this stable nucleus of players, and not only as we list these guys, let's keep in mind the age of this roster, which is pretty incredible. The age of this core. So right, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, DeVonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, Jordan Mailata, Nakobe Dean, Jalen Carter, Quinyon Mitchell,
Cooper DeJean.
Like they. Not only are those guys all returning, the core returning, but they're all young. This isn't like a core, you win a Super Bowl, you come back, and it's like a couple guys are worried about declining. We'll talk about Saquon, just some regression, but in terms of like physical, like he's not declining, he's still pretty young. So I think that's something for you to be really excited about. Like it's much easier to repeat when you have youth as your core, as opposed to you had a couple guys that towards their end of their careers that were productive last year. Do you really expect them to repeat that, stay healthy the following year? This, I think you could really realistically look at this core and say, I expect them to be better.
That's a great point. I don't know if I'd expect them to be better. Offensively, I think you might be able to make that case, but defensively, there's some question marks. But if you remember last year, there was a lot of question marks coming into the season last year. I think the coaching staff, Fangio did just an excellent job with them. He coached up the young guys, and they ended up being the greatest defense I've ever seen in my life. So, you have to hit on your draft picks. If you want to be successful in the NFL, the way that the salary cap is structured, you have to get big contributions from these young guys on rookie contracts that you draft. So they've done a pretty good job of that lately.
Great job.
Yeah. How much of that is luck? How much of that is like super sustainable? There's plenty of, they've done a great job lately, but I could rattle off 10 names that were not even NFL players that they drafted pretty high. So it's great. I'm excited. I think that, like I said, they lost some key guys last year. They're not like these, they didn't lose Jalen Carter. They didn't lose Nolan Smith. So they didn't lose Quinyon Mitchell. So there's not to say that they're like replaceable, but they're easier to replace than some of these like super high level guys.
Oh, for sure. I want to talk about the young defensive core, and you kind of alluded to it, but first, real quickly, the offensive line, other than Becton, everyone's back. It's been the strength of the team for how long now? I mean,
years, decades.
And they've lost Kelsey and replaced him, and you have to feel really good about the offensive line, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They have an offensive line coach who's been there for a long time. He's been there since Chip Kelly was actually the head coach there. His name's Jeff Stoutland. There's actually a pretty interesting documentary about him. and he's just the greatest position coach ever. Like, no matter what. Other than like Lane Johnson, who's just a freak of nature, like it just seems like legitimately like next man up. Like he just always has them prepared, ready to play. Like they're at least like competent. Like even when they're down to their third string guy, like there's
Yep.
competence. So
Yeah.
and when you surround that third string guy with all pros on the rest of the line, like
Well,
he's
that's what I was thinking when you said that. I was like, it's when you have the group that they have on the line, it makes it easier for like they hide they hide their weakness, right? Like
yes.
that's
Yeah, but a lot of these guys are just they find guys and they develop them. Jordan Mailata was undrafted. Kelsey's a 6th round pick. Yeah, a lot of these guys are just they're either like journeymen or late round draft picks, and they develop them into studs. So
yep,
I love that.
it's impressive.
It's the way that you build a team. You build it from the inside out, and they've done a really good job of that over the past 2 decades. So yeah, the Becton, although Becton was great last year, I don't
He was
expect
very
it to
good.
have too big of an impact.
Yeah, and I also wouldn't expect him to be healthy for another year because he has not shown the capability to do that. So something I was thinking, so it's kind of crazy when I look at this team and you look at the skill position as well. So the offensive line's intact, and you have obviously you have Jalen Hurts, you have Saquon, you have the two dynamic wide receiver duo, you have the tight end. They're all back. They're all young. They're all like in their prime, and we're going to talk a little bit later. I have some concerns about Saquon. I want to bring up, but even if Saquon, just say we'll get into more later. But even if Saquon took a slight step back after having one of the best seasons of all time, let's say he's 80% of what he was last year, which is still an All-Pro running back. I think it's very realistic that Hurts has a better year, that Devontae has a better year, that even AJ Brown has a better year. I think there's room for improvement in the passing game, and to me, like when you, so I hear people talking about Saquon, like, well, what if he has a worse year? Well, I think the Eagles have so much stability and so much talent at the skill position and on this offense that I, I mean, I look at what they did last year, dude, and I actually think that not that they're going to be better because what Barkley did was crazy, but I think that they can easily replicate it in a different way. Like they don't have to be so run heavy to be as productive, but I think I still see them being as productive. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, just take the Super Bowl as a microcosm of that. Barkley was not good. If you if you have guys, we talked about this a lot last year, but yeah, this Eagles offense is pick your poison. It's the ultimate game of pick your poison. You want to stop Barkley? Okay. Good luck with the two wide receivers on the outside and Dallas Goedert. Oh, and the quarterback can run for 75 yards. Like there's just so many different ways that they can beat you. And last year it happened to be that the running game got going and they wore teams down. And by the time the fourth quarter ran around, the defense was gassed and they were just getting pushed around. So yeah, I would agree with that. I have not to say high hopes, but I'm curious to see how they use Dotson because he started to come on towards the end of last year a little bit. And he's said, throughout the course of like the offseason that he's so much more comfortable within the offense and with Hurts than he was all of last year. So, as if there was another, as if they needed another
Yeah, right.
weapon to get by you. But yeah, no, I think that's totally fair. I would expect a bigger year from Hurts. Like, I don't know if you want to talk about the Hurts discourse now, but like, I don't know, man. Like, he's
We can talk about it now.
obviously, yeah. I mean, he's obviously like a good quarterback. Like, and you probably don't know this, but there's been all offseason, there's been a ton of, oh, is Jalen Hurts? Is he good? Does he contribute? Is he along for the ride? Is he, can they replace him with essentially anybody? It's like, first of all, and Eagles fans get all mad, right? They say, "Oh, how dare you!" Oh, but like it's like to any Eagles fan who gets mad that someone says that Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback than him, like here's my message to you: who cares? Like who cares? Who cares if someone thinks that Hurts is not a top 5 quarterback? I don't care if they said he was a bottom 5 quarterback. They just won the Super Bowl and he was the Super Bowl MVP. Like that's the trump card. I don't care. I don't care who plays quarterback. I don't really care how well they play. I mean, obviously I care how well they play, but like they just won the Super Bowl. So like who cares?
You don't care how their performance is perceived.
I
is
don't
what you
care
meant.
at all how the performance is. Like, and they did this. They did this with like the whole Carson Wentz. Like, who cares? They won the Super Bowl. You could have the worst quarterback in the league. You could have had Daniel Jones win the Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP, and I wouldn't care what people said. Like, it's just so ridiculous. But
Yeah.
obviously he's a very good quarterback. Like, there's people like knock him because he has talent around him. It's like, okay, I guess. Okay, he's got talent around him. All right, like what other like Super Bowl winning quarterback didn't have talent around him?
It doesn't make him less of a quarterback because he has good players playing with him.
Right. He does what he's asked to do at a high level, and whatever people say, and like it's just so crazy because like doesn't Jared Goff have a lot of talent around him? But like nobody knocks Jared Goff for
dude.
nobody does that,
but
right?
I think what you're doing. I think what it is though. I mean, maybe I'm thinking about this differently. But if someone's concerned about this is different than the discourse you're talking about. But if someone's concerned about how good Jalen Hurts is, I could see the concern being, well, last year he was great at what he had to do, but what if he has to do more? Is he going to turn the ball over? Is he like how is he going to perform if he's in a situation where the running game's not as good, where their defense is not as good, and Hurts has to do more? Maybe that's the concern. Like, oh well, if the defense isn't as good as the running game, and the running game isn't as good, Hurts isn't good enough to then elevate the team.
Sure, and I see that point, but my response to that would be, we've seen it before. We've seen how awesome. People forget how like awesome this guy was in 2022. He was a runner-up for the MVP. He was amazing. He got hurt. Like
That was a while ago, though.
it was two football seasons ago. 2022, and then he had a down. No, 22. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in 2025 now.
Yeah, but it's not that far. It's not like he's like declined athletically. I think he's gotten better and he makes good decisions and he's a threat with his legs. And by the way, like obviously the offensive line is great, but like Saquon Barkley had a lot of success on those RPO plays. So like the threat of Jalen Hurts taking off with the ball really opened up stuff for Saquon Barkley.
For sure.
So
for sure.
It's not like this. Like I don't care. Does he have as big of an arm as Josh Allen? No, but I don't care. Like because he plays well, he makes good decisions. He and like also like people make it seem like he's got like a noodle arm. Like this guy's he throws a beautiful deep ball. He's very accurate. Like I just don't know like what more people want from the guy. Like, oh yeah, they run the ball a lot. It's like, okay, they have the best running back in the world. You should run the ball a lot.
Let me ask you this though.
All right.
Let me ask you this though. Say the running game's not as good. I'm not without getting into the reasons why right now because we're going to talk about Barkley. And say the defense isn't as good because the defense was so great last year. Say the defense is 75% as good. Say the running game is 75% as good. Do you believe, based on what he did in 2022, you're confident that Hurts would be able to make up the difference and the Eagles would still be a top 2 team in the NFC and one of the Super Bowl favorites?
Yes.
Okay.
If they didn't have they're capable of passing the ball. Like that's the other thing. I don't think people remember last year they barely beat the Carolina Panthers at home, and then there was a big controversy, right? They asked AJ Brown in his locker, "Hey, what's wrong with the offense?" And he said passing. So now the whole week it was, "Oh man, they can't pass." And then they had the Pittsburgh Steelers come to town, who were like the number 1 pass defense in the NFL at that point, and he diced them up. So like again, people act like he's like Nathan Peterman. The guy can throw the ball
Justin Fields
when he's asked to throw the ball. It's like, yeah, right. Anyway, it's ridiculous. Everybody be happy. Like the team is so good. This guy's a good quarterback. Again, he's not. Maybe he's top 5 quarterback. I don't know. I don't know. But
we don't need to get into. We don't need to dissect the top 5.
We don't need to. But here's the thing. Who cares? Matter. It doesn't.
I agree.
Matter
it doesn't matter.
They're good.
It doesn't matter.
All right. You shouldn't.
Well, it doesn't matter
You
because
shouldn't.
even
You
if he's
shouldn't want a top 5 quarterback because then you pay your
I mean-
quarterback $100 million a year, and you have no money to pay anybody else. So unless he's like really, 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 really good,
Yeah,
there's
that's
two
more of a
guys that you give
reflection
that kind
of.
money to.
But that's when more of the contract value is more of a reflection of when he becomes a free agent than how good he is.
I know. You know what I'm saying. I'm saying the theory.
You should want all your players to be as good as possible.
Of
So
course, obviously.
I anyway, okay, let's get to the young defensive core. So they were incredible last year. You said the best defense you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Nolan Smith stepping into a bigger role. Right? Okay. You got the continued development of Cooper DeJean. You got Quinyon Mitchell. And then you got the rookie, as you mentioned, Jihaad Campbell, right? Those are pretty important pieces on the defense. What's your expectation of them? Do you think there's some regression there? I think they're going to be better. But what's your expectation? Do you think year 2 of all these guys who are very successful, or year 1, year 2, year 3, whatever it is, depending on those players, do you expect them to improve? What's your expectation?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why they couldn't improve. I think Nolan Smith had a very, very slow start to his career. He was a first-round draft pick back in 23, and like the first year and
he's the one going to year 3 out of the group
yes,
that I said, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Him and Jalen Carter were the same draft class, so
that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Jalen Carter's amazing from day one. And Nolan Smith just took a really long time to come around, to the point where like there was, even in like the beginning of this past year, some guys were like, this guy just like might not make it in the NFL. And halfway through the year, he just seemed to figure something out and became really, really good as the season went on. So he was a huge part of their success last year. Huge. So I think he'll only get better from here. The guy opposite of him, Jalix Hunt, was also same thing. He was a rookie, like 6th or 7th rounder last year. Very slow start to the year, but had like some really big plays. I think he had 2 sacks in the Super Bowl. Like really, really good ending to the year for him. Moro Ajamo is going to be the Milton Williams replacement, and like same deal, just very strong second half last year. Really good showing. Another kind of position group that they always seem to churn out some talent is the defensive line. So they, again, like we were saying with Jeff Stoutland and the O-line, like they invest a lot of resources into the trenches. So offensive line, defensive line, they always seem to kind of get some talented guys out there. I feel like there was one other guy that I wanted to mention, but I might have lost it. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about Quinyon Mitchell, though.
Yes.
So, awesome rookie season. Great. Amazing. Rookie corner. Incredible. Shutdown corner. You think now that there's a lot of stuff on film, there's a potential for a slight regression? Improvement? What are you thinking?
I don't think that. Not with Quinyon. I mean, if you watch him, even going back to his days at Toledo, I mean, you should have seen him at Toledo, dude. He was amazing. But no, just watching him, he is not like I'm good because the scheme that I play like that. He just is like as close to the perfect cornerback as you're going to find. He's very fast. He does not get beat deep. He's very physical. He's on guys' hips at all time. His technique is excellent. He's got really good ball skills. So he's just an extremely talented athletic corner, you know? And yeah, I don't know that there's like much that you can really do that's going to counteract that. You know, he's not going to get less physical this year. He's not going to get slower this year unless he gets injured. But yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit for this guy. I don't see any reason why he should take a step back.
So you think he's going to get better? Do you see him? What's your like top 2 corner, top 3 corner in the NFL?
Yeah,
what do you think?
I think, year 2 of this, he's now in the NFL. He's got more experience. He just won the Super Bowl, and like he shut down some really, really good wide receivers rookie year. So yeah, why not? I don't see. Listen, I'm not like up on all of the cornerback tape in the NFL, but like, yeah, why not? Why? I thought he played I thought he played like a top 5 corner last year, and why not? Why not hire it this year?
Okay, I want to get into some concerns, and we already talked about. There's not many, but you already talked about the coordinator. It seems maybe might be your biggest concern. But first, I just came across this like a couple hours before recording. I was doing some research for our Jets episode actually that we're going to be doing. But do you know average age of the NFL roster? Where do you think the
If I
Eagles
were to
rank?
guess, where do I think they rank?
Yeah, in terms
Um,
of youngest NFL roster, where do you think they are?
wow. I don't know. Since you're bringing this up, it must be pretty low. So I'll say like
High.
20. Right. I don't know, 24th.
Youngest being lower, like youngest being the lower number.
Youngest being a lower number. Okay, so then 8th.
They're third.
Wow.
The last time a defending Super Bowl champion came back the next season with a third or the third youngest team or younger in the NFL, 1997.
Wow.
Yeah,
The Broncos.
that was the
No.
Broncos. I didn't even see that. I just saw the year. I don't think it was the Broncos. I think that was 98. The Broncos.
Okay. Yeah, Elway was super old then, so that probably wouldn't make sense. But he's only one guy. Anyway,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
They just
amazing.
they have such a young team and at all the important positions too.
Yep.
All right, some concerns. Let's get your. You've been way too positive. Let's get your
I told you,
pessimism.
they won the Super Bowl. I'm not going to be very pessimistic. My concern, so I have a couple. Offensive coordinators up there. Secondary depth is a very big concern.
Lost Slay, lost Gardner-Johnson.
Lost Slay, lost Gardner-Johnson, lost Isaiah Rodgers. Kind of a sneaky,
Yep. Lost those three guys. Yep.
Yeah, and not a lot of people talk about that, but Isaiah Rodgers was like really good when they asked him to step up. Slay missed a couple of, I don't know if he missed games, but he definitely like left games for like a half or a quarter, and Isaiah Rodgers came in and just played really solid. He wasn't like amazing, but just a very solid, very quick corner. Made a couple of really nice plays. He had that long fumble recovery that he almost brought back to the house against the Rams in the divisional game. So, you take Slay, who was having a really good year. He's gone. You take Gardner-Johnson, who was like the heart and soul of that defense, like just really brought physicality, brought energy. Like guys, when they had their collapse in 23, guys in the secondary like said like, oh yeah, like we missed CJ's energy. Like we just didn't really have we didn't have anybody who brought that energy and physicality, and it showed. So he's going to be missed, and just the people who they've brought in to replace them are just really not inspiring. They drafted a kid from Texas named Andrew Makuba. Who knows? He was a second-round pick, so we'll see if he's any good. And then a couple, just like the cornerbacks are bad. They have a couple guys who've been on the roster for a while, but basically have been like special teams guys up to this point.
Yep.
Keely Ringo is a name. He went to Georgia with like all the rest of the guys on defense. So, but like just hasn't really been very impressive. The limited snaps that he's gotten. Who else? They got someone from the Giants. Adoree Jackson is like,
oh yeah.
Like he's going for their CB2 slot, but like he hasn't been very good in training camp or preseason. So like that is a very big concern. I mean, you have one really bad corner, and obviously it just changes the whole.
Teams will just
scope of your
attack it.
defense.
Yeah, teams will just
absolutely.
keep attacking it.
So yeah, those are the two big ones. And I mean, the last one is just, the schedule is like unbelievably brutal. I mean, that's
because the NFC East gets the AFC West.
So just the fact that it's the NFC East, and like they won the Super Bowl, so they're playing a first place schedule. Other than that, but yeah, it's a murderer's row for sure.
You get the AFC West and then the NFC South or the NFC North.
No, the NFC North.
Yeah. NFC North. Yeah, okay, that's right. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so just that's a tough schedule, and then that extra game because you're their first place team, you get I don't know who the extra game that they get is, but it's definitely a really good team.
Yeah. Let's go through.
I didn't look at it. Before we do that, I just want to share one of my concerns that for the Eagles that you didn't mention.
What is it?
I alluded to it earlier. Saquon Barkley.
Oh, yes. Yeah, for sure.
I think that it's not realistic to expect someone to repeat the season he had last year. So just that in itself, I would be a little concerned if I'm not actually concerned. I'm nitpicking. This team's great, but I would expect regression just because it was such a ridiculous season. And then my concern really falls with the workload from last year and then the potential for injury. Because he was really healthy last year, a lot of work, a heavy workload. It's running backs, or as it is, are very injury prone. I'm concerned about his health and how the Eagles offense looks if he has to miss 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's definitely a legitimate concern. I think if you just go back and look at history and, like running backs who got the amount of touches that he got last year, like the next year
they don't
come
fare
back
well the next season.
It's always like a real disaster the next year. So
yeah, I think like Derrick Henry may have been a recent example of being an exception.
Yep,
but
definitely.
Yeah, I think typically, it's hard.
Yeah.
So
now to that point, though, I mean, if he is, he's not quite the same athlete that Derrick Henry is, but like this guy's just a total freak of nature. So if there's another running back other than Derrick Henry that can handle it and be good the next year, it's this guy.
I agree.
But yes, definitely a thing to keep an eye on for sure this year.
How do you think that their offense would be if he had to miss 4 or 5 games?
I think they'd be okay. Again, I'm just going to go off the past 2 years where he wasn't there and they were really good. They can have someone who's a solid running back. He can play for a few games. The year before it was DeAndre Swift, really good back. Not fine back, not a superstar by any means, but 1,000-yard rusher,
good player,
really good. The year before that it was Miles Sanders, who again good player, 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. So as long as it's not somebody who's awful, they'll be okay for a few games.
Okay, Barkley was just. I think the OC and then the corner and the secondary is probably a bigger concern because. I mean, there's a very good chance Saquon doesn't get hurt, and Saquon's amazing. So,
yep.
Okay. Do you want to go through let's hold off on the schedule. We're we'll wrap up going through the betting odds, win total, and we'll go through the schedule of that. So I have here X factors. I think we kind of talked about most things. I think Nolan Smith in a prominent role is if he could break out, maybe that would. I don't know. Can this defense get better? It's kind of crazy to think.
No, they won't be better than last year's defense, but yeah, I think Dotson is going to be an X factor for them for sure.
Dotson, yeah.
I think Will Shipley, maybe AJ Dillon are going to be X factors for the reason that you mentioned. If Saquon does go down. For a little bit, even if it's not to go down, I think that they should plan just to lighten his load a little bit.
I forgot to ask you that. Are they gonna? Yeah.
I think they should. I mean,
yeah,
they're gonna make the playoffs, unless it's just a total abject disaster. But they're gonna make the playoffs. Yeah, you might as well save the guy, get him some rest. And keep him as healthy and fresh as you can towards the end of the year. But yeah,
I agree.
I would do that, especially if they have capable backs, which I think they do. Yeah, Dotson is a big one. Guys on defense, I think other guys that we named like Jalix Hunt is going to be an X factor. We'll see what this Jihaad Campbell kid can do. And then that CB2, the second cornerback. That's I don't know
the
if you
position
consider that an
itself.
X factor. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be an X factor.
Yeah.
That could be an X factor.
More of a concern,
you're right,
I think.
If that's weak, then the defense will be vulnerable. I mean, because you can attack a corner every time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have to scheme to protect them, and then you're leaving yourself vulnerable elsewhere. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's call this the betting and market outlook.
All right.
The win total will have 11.5. So if we go through the schedule here,
You have that?
that's their win. That's what I saw in FanDuel. It's
Yeah.
11.5.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. I assume you could see this.
I can see it.
All right. The Philadelphia Eagles schedule. So week 1, home against the Cowboys. Do you want to just go through it, or do you want to count them up in your mind, and we'll count them up together?
I don't. I mean, I'm not gonna do win-loss.
No. Okay. So then you got a tough game at KC.
Mm-hmm.
This is the schedule you're talking about. Home against the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
At Tampa Bay. I know you have
Why do they always
weird
go?
thing.
That's like their house of horrors, dude. Why do they always go there? It's annoying.
Home against Denver.
Mm-hmm.
At the Giants.
G-Men.
Yeah. In Minnesota.
The G-Men
home
again.
against the Giants. Okay, fun game. Bye. At Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
At Dallas. Home against Chicago.
Yeah, the Black Friday game. Look at that.
Well, that's the Black Friday. Oh, are you getting that's on Amazon, right? It's on Prime. Do you have Prime?
I do, but it'll be on the local market anyway, right?
I don't think so. No, it won't be. But you have Prime.
Yeah.
At the Chargers. Raiders. That's their first game against the Commanders, right? Week 16?
Yep.
Oh, wow. It's kind of late to play them first. All right. At Washington, at Buffalo, that's obviously a tough one. Then you get Washington again to wrap up the season.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty gnarly, man.
I think there's 3 losses max.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm being serious.
Yeah, okay.
I'm being serious.
No.
Way over on the 11.5. I would bet over 13.5.
You would not.
I would. I'm being serious.
No, you're not.
I am being serious.
Okay,
What do you
whatever
think?
you say.
Over under 11.5.
I'll say over, but I think that's like the perfect over under number to have. Like I would pick 12 if I had to. I mean, 11 or 12 is the guess. So I think they nailed it with their over.
Is that because of the schedule, or is that because you're worried about like the Super Bowl hangover?
Oh, I think it's a schedule for sure. I don't really worry about the Super Bowl hangover that much. I think that's more so the team that loses usually comes back the next year and is sluggish. But yeah, I just think it's a super, super hard schedule. Like, it's really brutal.
It is a tough schedule. It is a tough schedule for sure. All right, let me give you some other stuff. Super Bowl odds on FanDuel. FanDuel. I can't talk. Plus 700. So 7-1. Let me ask you. What do you think that ranks in terms of the best odds?
I know this actually, so it's tied for the best odds. Is that right?
It's tied. That is tied.
Okay.
Do you know with who?
With Kansas City and Baltimore?
That's correct. Look at you.
Wow.
All right. Odds to make the playoffs. This is really... I actually thought it would be higher, but...
I don't know, minus 130?
Minus 375.
Wow.
So, yeah, they think... They agree with you. This is a playoff. They're not worried.
Okay.
Odds to win the NFC East.
That's probably around minus 120. Something like that.
Minus 135.
Okay.
They are heavy favorites to win the NFC East. All right, so let's hear predictions. Give your prediction for the Eagles season, where they finish in terms of the NFC East, in terms of the NFC, and then do you want to give your in terms of overall finish?
I don't know.
Do you feel like it's you're gonna jinx it?
No, I just don't really have that kind of, I don't know, like
confidence.
Predict them to win. I don't know. It's such a long season. It's so far ahead. It's hard to.
I agree.
it's hard to predict the exact outcome, but
We'll
listen,
see. We'll save that for we'll save your Super Bowl. We'll save that prediction for when we do the overall general NFL
right.
episode.
So I think they should win the NFC East. Although, did you know that there hasn't been a repeat NFC East division championship in like 21 years? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, you told me that recently. I think it was like last year.
The Eagles. I think the Eagles in 2004 was the last team to repeat.
That is crazy, but that's just randomness. That doesn't project that they won't win again. They won't win.
I know. It's just a weird thing. So yeah, I think they should win the division. I think they should be a top 1 or 2 seed in the NFC. I don't really think the NFC is like that scary.
I don't think anyone does.
I just don't. Good. Nah, some people think like, oh, the Rams, and like, I don't know. I don't think any of that is true. I don't really think Washington's like super scary either. Maybe we'll see.
I agree.
So yeah, the Lions, I guess. Okay, all right. How many times are we going to see the Lions gag away games in the playoffs? So I don't know. I just don't think the NFC is that strong. I mean, Dallas. Who is there? Who are the threats in the NFC? I think honestly, the biggest threat, the team that I would be most worried about, would probably be the Packers. But yeah, it's not a very.
I think you're underestimating the Lions. I think the Lions are going to be really good, and I think they're the biggest threat to the Eagles.
Okay. How about the 49ers, dude? You a big Niners guy?
I think they're a big time bounce back candidate, but no, I think the Eagles are a lot better.
Yeah, same.
The NFC's not that good. I don't even think the NFC East is that good.
I would agree. Yeah.
Eagles are the favorites. I'm predicting 14-3.
Wow.
First in the NFC.
Wow. Bold prediction by you.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah, go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go.
All right. So, any to wrap up, anything that we missed? You're really excited about the season? Eagles are awesome. The core's back.
Core's back. Team's great. Everyone be happy. Enjoy the team. Enjoy the fact that they are awesome. Just remember what it was like for your whole life when they hadn't won anything, and now they are here. And enjoy it. And it doesn't matter if people think Matt Stafford's better than Jalen Hurts. It just doesn't matter. Just enjoy it. It's going to be another fun season. Hopefully we can make another deep playoff run here. And my gosh, I mean, if they were to win another Super Bowl, I think the city would explode. So it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. And again, they've got a long leash on me. So
yeah, week 6.
Yeah, that's right.
No, but I think that's a great narrative. It's a great perspective. Eagles fans, you don't get to have this excitement level going into a season is not common. It's not something that most fans have, and you're going to go through a time when you don't have it. So while you have it now, enjoy it.
The pressure's off, man. I mean, 10 years ago, we would have killed. Well, just from a fan standpoint, I think, because again, 10 years ago, we would have all died for this team. We would have killed to have a team this good.
That's not good,
and a team that just won the Super Bowl. We wanted the team to win the Super Bowl our entire lives, and they just won their second one. And they just absolutely annihilated the greatest dynasty of the modern era here, and it was amazing. And it's all good. Everything's great.
No,
we're super.
It's not.
Happy.
No, you need to become the better dynasty now.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
You got to win this year, and then it starts.
Fire Howie and Sirianni. We're gonna turn into Yankees fans after they win another one.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
All right, an update for the pod. This was the first episode of our NFL season preview package of episodes. Our NFL season preview series. We're gonna have a Giants episode that's gonna be out next week. We're gonna have a Jets episode that's gonna be out next week, and we're gonna have a general NFL episode in which we argue about who's going to win more games, the Giants and Jets combined or the Eagles? which is not really much of an argument. It's a pretty easy one, I think.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And we'll make our predictions: Super Bowl, NFC Championship game, AFC Championship game, MVP, all things like that.
Sounds great.
Eagles fans, get excited. You're a week away from opening night. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Please give us a like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Philly pride insists that's all. Andrew Rappin and Wild Bulls. Together they talk sports and dreams. Right behind the scenes. It seems. Philly versus NY. Who the call? Who's the greatest? Who will fall with this rivalry? Loud and clear. Join the chat. It's time to cheer. Sports and culture all in one. Catch the fire, feel the fun. Andrew, sis, that glad unite. Philly and Y in the spotlight.